glad to have you all gathered up for a little bit of a features and benefits walk around on our ATV. This is the 2009 SX 450 and 505 that we've just released here in Red Bud, Michigan. We're here at the ATVA National. We've actually had 2 days worth of riding on this machine. We were able to get editors and test riders on the bike, give them some time to actually feel the machine, adjust the machine, and get it to handle for them. They're going to race it in an industry class with 4 laps here in the near future today. But in the meantime, we cleaned up a bike. It has some mud a little bit here and there, but it's pretty clean for the video shop. And we're going to walk around the bike and show you all the advantages of owning a KTM. I always start in the front of the ATV because there's so much adjustability and there's so many components that used to be just aftermarket related. Now they're coming OE from KTM. Things like the upper A-arms made of chrome moly and the replaceable ball joints and the spindle design and the bell crank on the lower steering stem that reduces bumps here. We even come with the Razor Maxxis tires and the Douglas wheels. Right on through into the inboard where they mount, we're actually using Heim joints that offer adjustable caster and camber, also replaceable. Down in the bottom, we have the drawn cup needle bearings that are also serviceable, but really rarely ever give you any kind of a problem or even maintenance need. So this is completely serviceable. It makes the front end of the ATV 50 inches wide for regulation in motocross racing. As you also look at this high-grade suspension, the WP product on the new KTM, this shock offers so much adjustability above our competition. We actually have a crossover adjustment. We end up with a triple rate spring package. We end up with external high-speed adjustment and low-speed adjustment on the compression. And we actually have our rebound dampening down here on the bottom. So fully adjustable front suspension. Very lightweight. We've been working and developing this suspension for quite some time, and it was the best suspension for this bike. If you move on through and you can look just a little closer with your video, I know that can be tough to see. This bike comes ready mount, has a ready mount system here on the frame and a ready mount bracket on the steering stem that allows you to bolt in an Olin steering stabilizer in about 5 minutes. So features like that really make this a ready to race ATV. Also the frame members, they have a special hexagon type of frame design for additional strength, and it's also made of chrome moly material and it's powder coated from the factory. So lots of advantages again. We're really happy with the position of our radiator in this machine. It sits back in further than most of our competition, reduces any kind of ability to plug the radiator during an event. We have a curved radiator design, which increases the airflow and has a much higher capacity. A very large, high capacity flow on the fan. The machine just really has good, adequate cooling throughout. Something worth mentioning here in the front, as I just spin the bike slightly. Radiator's pretty easy access here, but what's really kind of nice for MX racers, TT racers, maybe even supermoto. If an individual would like to remove the plastic, much of our competition, it actually has to be cut. We're actually able to come in here and just remove 3 fasteners and 1 lower bracket, and the fenders can go into the truck for that particular event. So it works out quite nice. I don't want to get away from the front too much. There's still a little bit to talk about here. Industry standard now, really state-of-the-art. Large diameter aluminum steering stem. It comes right up here, of course, with a good high mount for comfort in the whoops on MX racing. And we have an offset mount here on top of the stem and an offset handlebar clamp system. If you rotate either one of these components into a different position, you can actually achieve 4 different forward or rearward positions of the handlebars without purchasing any parts. So we feel that that's an extremely good feature for an OE machine. Also, we have the tapered bars. This comes to us from Magura, extremely strong. In fact, through all of our testing and development, we've never replaced a set of handlebars. They're really, really state-of-the-art. The adjustability in our controls here in the front of the bike. We have actually adjustments, fine adjustments here, so a person can determine the kind of span he needs on his leverage. We actually have the hydraulic clutch and the hydraulic brake system that's operating our 4-piston brake system down here. 4-piston calipers fixed with floating rotors and a self-cleaning wave design. So just about everything has really been thought through and implemented on this machine. Also, something that I'll try not to forget any of these details as we go. If you could get a close-up of this mounting system here, we have a 13mm fastener that comes through here and mounts into a welded nut system. Now this particular mounting system on the hardware is throughout the entire bike. Whether it's the plastic, whether it's the engine mounts, whether it's the shocks in the back, the swing arm, Everything has its own self-retained nut, which means a mechanic can run up to this machine with one tool and actually remove his fastener and not have anything to deal with on the backside, whether it be washers, nuts, extra tooling. So very good for service. This is such a simple system, and it actually helps with servicing or removing the front wheels. This is our parking brake system, where we just anchor down our front brake and we pull down a little lever tab, and that locks our 4-piston calipers and lets us service the bike in the front, remove your wheels. It's just kind of a helpful system. Also, if you'll notice some of the competition in the past, they run the big cable and they run the actual cam mechanism on the rear caliper, which is a lot of additional hardware and weight. We don't have any of that. We simply utilize a little bit of a lever up here on the master. Okay, so that takes care of most of this. This is the hot start on the machine, and all of our controls and switches and functions are right there. This really is making a statement in the industry, I believe. There's no need to put this on after you buy the machine. It's in the showroom with the lanyard switch. Again, ready to race. Okay? The hood. This happens to be the hood that comes with the machine. You end up with two hoods. And somewhere in this video, we'll go ahead and pull this front hood to show you some features that's right underneath. But the stock headlight will actually mount right here, and you could install this race hood over the headlight if you wish and not even remove it.